5 generations without having that experience of treating people the right way. So that's always been a big, huge thing. That's how Dad was brought up. That's how Ray and I were both brought up. Yeah, so basically, the way I explain to people, we do anything with water and sewer. So anything after the well and before the swimming pool, I tell people. We do water conditioning. We feature the Connecticut water conditioning system. Had that product for over 45 years. Sell and service them as well. Yeah, it's always done a great job of operating equipment. I mean, I see someone else.
Okay. It's got auto follow, but I have it on self level.
100%. We don't do it part-time.
Stays level.
Of course, dedicated to making sure that we take care of things the right way. You know, we'll go any length to make sure our customers feel their value that we're taking care of them. And it's important we have a tradition of service. I tell people I sleep with my phone at night, that from at night, water from the call me. After everything we've done, even with our growth and everything, our family business, I think that there's some camaraderie. The guys here in Opening Days, it's kind of light, they look around a little bit, and we're paying the one for the day.
We're going to be 45
There's
minutes
been
late.
times, you know, when I've had a guy say,
We're 45 minutes late starting.
when the kids are with me, we had this weekend, I can't get a call by. We'll find someone will cover it for you. You know, we'll take care of you. So we value
If you
our
want,
employees.
if you want to tell PK or whatever, I mean, the tracks is so soft, they're going to have to feel a little more.
There's family,
Right.
part of our family. My way of thinking of big family. Visit us at orchardline.com, dedicated to providing high quality water. Well, fans, as you can see, Mother Nature is going to cause us some problems tonight. Once again, it looks like. Just talked to Marvin. He says we're going to have to peel some of this off and repack it. Take some of it off, push it off the side, and find a way to get down to some good pulling dirt a little bit deeper down. So probably be 45 minutes thereabouts. We're going to peel it off. You can see they're starting over here already. So if you haven't had supper yet, there is all kinds of good food on both sides of the stands. Church groups over here buying ice cream. I might go have some of that myself. I know I don't need it. Don't say it. They also have freezer pops, pulled pork, burgers, brats, hot dogs. The football team over here has nachos, chips, cheese, a pan full of nachos for $25, which also gives you 2 drinks. But if you haven't ate yet, be a good time to stand up, stretch your legs, maybe walk back through the pits. The souvenir stands are over here, the NTPA stand and the full pool stand over there behind the screen. You can go over there and see what they got. They've got event t-shirts, full pool t-shirts, beer money, pulling team information, earplugs. You're going to need some earplugs tonight. We've got 5 classes, 1, 2, 3, 4 classes of blower motors tonight. So a lot of noise coming up. 1 class of smoking. So if you need some earplugs, you got some youngsters with you that got some tender ears. I think they're a pair for the awful good investment. So settle down, find a soft spot in the bleachers. We'll be with you just as quick as we can.
line for motorsports vehicles, circle track racing, tractor pulling, drag racing, to the toters and trailers that get you there. We also offer rain event coverage and price packages. If you want insurance as your one-stop shop for all your specialty insurance needs, contact us today.
At Ward Slaughter Company, when it comes to your pump or well system, our team of state and nationally certified technicians has you covered. Experience uninterrupted water pressure with a constant pressure well system. This state-of-the-art system eliminates dips in water pressure while supporting both residential and industrial water volume needs.
Check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. We're not house sound. We're just live stream tonight. Okay. Yes. All right, cool. All right, welcome to Thursday night here in Rockwell, Iowa with Brandon Phillips. Brandenburg, Kentucky, the Meade County Fair. You guys had a great event down there. I know you're on the fair board. What does that event mean to you, your dad, your family, and your county, Brandon?
Yeah, absolutely, Jason. So Brandenburg has been a Grand National hook since about 2008. So ever since then, it's just grown and grown and grown. And, we're testing the limits of how big that facility is versus how many equipment and pulling vehicles that we get there. And it's turned into quite the show. Fans love it. The county loves it. Over the week, there's about 40,000 attendants there. So it's just a really, really great county fair. And I can't thank our volunteers enough. That's kind of what makes that. And, anytime you can do good at your hometown pull, is just like a dream come true, especially in the pulling world. And, every now and then we're able to make that happen. And it just, it's a great feeling. My dad and I have been pulling there for ever since I could, and then of course ever since he could, and they've had the light super class, and then my brother now with the light limited is able to run there too, so that's been a really good thing. So we love Brandenburg, even though the heat it was a little excessive last week. We dealt with it, and now we get here and we're nearly 40 degrees cooler, so it should be an interesting show for everybody here. Alcohol motors are going to run really, really, really good, and diesel motors as well. But when you take a big temperature swing, start adding a lot of fuel, or it's going to be a lot of fun for live streams. If not,
100%, and that's what it's all about. Let's switch gears now. We're coming to Rockwell, like you said. How far is the drive for you and Dad to come up?
So we left at 4 this morning, got here a little after 3 o'clock. It's a pretty long day of travel, but it's all good, especially when we get to come west. We love it. That's why we love coming here. Rockwell, they do a great job, and it's a great event. So I'm not going to say we get tired of going up the East Coast, but every time we get to come west, we always love it. So,
how many tractors do you and your dad have with you this weekend competing?
Yep, so we just brought Straight Jacket, the John Deere, and Extremely Insane, Dad's International. So we look forward to a good time. We run Friday night and Saturday night with those, and I'll be intermingling here and there, helping some other crews as well.
Has Rockwell been a good track for you and your dad, or has it been one that kind of caused you guys grief?
Nope. So actually the first year they had Light Supers here, Dad actually won on Friday, and then it was a rain out on a Saturday. Last year, I was second both days with the John Deere, and Dad had some struggles last year with his tractor. We've been trying a few things, and finally got them straightened out. But no, Rockwell has been really good to us, and we look forward to another great year.
Awesome. So you're out here poking around a little bit. I grabbed you and say, what are you doing out here? You don't pull till tomorrow. So who are you helping tonight?
So tonight I'll be bouncing around, but mainly helping Chase and the UD Motorsports crew. They run their light mod first, and then two-wheel drive class also be running first, and then we have the mini rod to get down the track. So have a little bit of intermission here as they get the track worked, but look forward to a great night of pulling, and hopefully we can do some good.
I know we're not starting on time, but I'd rather have them make this decision than have I don't want to, lack of better words, a muck show, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've had so much rain. They've had 10 inches of rain in the last week.
Yeah. So props to them for just getting to where we are today, and being able to have a tractor pull, because, the track I would call it is 50% of the event. You know, the other 50% is where the pullers are parking and getting the vehicles up here. I mean, you know how it is. If tires are getting full of mud and time they get up here, it never puts on a great show. So anytime they can at least get it in a situation where we can get vehicles up here and have a decent track to run on, it always makes in for a good show.
Awesome. Well, good luck to you and your dad this weekend. Thanks again for all your help in Brandenburg, Kentucky, being a Fair Board member, a Grand National competitor, and a good friend. We appreciate you here at Full Pole, and you always do a good job. And maybe you can give Chase some luck on the mini rod tonight.
I'll try to. I'll keep Donald's words of wisdom to myself, and we'll see what we can make happen.
Perfect. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. All right, Morgan, let's keep moving down here, Morgan. All right, talking to a two-wheel drive truck puller, you hear delay in the way your guys' season has gone. You haven't got to pull a lot, Jason, so we're doing a little track maintenance because we've had a lot of rain, but the weather looks good. I think they made the right decision. What are your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they want us to put a show on. We got to have a good track, and that's what they're going to do, and they'll get us down to some good dirt, and we'll have a pull.
Is this your hometown Grand National?
Farley for being a Grand National. I'm about two and a half hours away, about same as Tomar or something like that. Farley's about 20 minutes away from me.
Awesome. So what is this? Has this event been good to you in the past, Jason?
Yeah, actually in 2019 was the first year we stepped up this level. This is my first win. So, yeah, Rockwell's been good to us.
You like it? Are you guys follow, are you first class tonight?
Yes, I believe we're first class on the right-hand side.
Announcer side?
Yep, announcer side, and then I'm fifth hook.
You're fifth hook. So how many in the class tonight? Did you take a look at the list?
38.
38.
Yep.
That's a lot.
That is a lot, but as a two-wheel drive truck puller, you get used to it.
How many hooks I know you run both both circuits. How many hooks have you had down the track this year?
I'd have to look for sure, but probably 15 to 18. So.
Are you happy with the truck's performance? You are the defending the Champions Tour champion last year. You won it all on the other side.
Yeah, we've been having some good luck. We actually went to Jerseyville and we had a PPL points champion hook there. We won that, and we've won an Outlaw one. So, man, if I could win a Grand National one, it'd be a really good season. We're sitting, I believe we're sitting 8th in points now. We got 9th in Fort Recovery. I mean, a lot of trucks down there too. We did good. Tough class of trucks.
As a farmer, how do your crops look this year?
Oh, they look really good, but man, we've been getting a lot of rain, so I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll find out when we combine.
Did you get any of that wind in Edgewood that they got through here last Monday night?
We did get some wind, but it's all standing, so that's good. We plan all Pioneer, so they told us it'd stand. It did.
So is there a warranty on Pioneer seed corn?
I don't know. We've never had to use it yet. Hopefully we never do.
I love it. All right, so two-wheel drives hook tonight. When do you hook again this weekend?
Saturday at noon. Yep. So that's a day hook, but it is what it is.
Well, Jay.
I'm proud to say the word family business this time.
They call it the trifecta when you win like the Masters and a Grand Slam. You're going to go for the Pulling Grand Slam.
Let's hope so.
Awesome. Good luck, Jason.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you, buddy.
I think we have a lot of experience
us at boardsonline.com, dedicated to providing high-quality water and wastewater solutions. At Bex, we stand up for things that matter most. Our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S.
Down here on the track with RJ Simon. RJ, the show was supposed to start at 6. They got about 10 inches of rain in the last 3 or 4 days. And you can see down here, I was over in the trailer. Did they scratch the track and realize it just wasn't going to be a go?
Yeah, it's just too soft right now. So what's got to happen is they're going to have to try to get down to find something that's workable. Right now, the sled can't even get through this. It's just Mother Nature gave it too much rain. They should have brought a dozer in. There should be a dozer here. There's not. It needs to get cut down close to a foot and just find some good drier stuff. If there's even there, I don't know, but that's really what needs to happen. They're trying to do it with skid loaders right now and an older road grader. It ain't going to work. So there was a guy that offered to bring up a dozer here free of charge. It'd have been here by noon, but they turned it down today.
Okay. Do you know the guy personally that has the dozer, RJ?
I know him personally. He offered to do it. Yeah, he's walking down the track there somewhere.
Perfect. I like that. Let's talk about your season so far. Picked up the big win in Fort Recovery with the semi. You had really kind of battled the semi earlier this year, a lot of breakage. How good did it feel to get the win there at the Fort?
Oh, it felt great. That truck ran great and just worked good. Got a great crew behind us that worked on it. We've fought that issues all year with motor and little motor problems and then chassis setup. So we finally got it working a little better. It's still got a long ways to go, but hoping this weekend we can get a couple passes underneath of it and have it ready for BG and ready to go. But tonight's not looking good for me, so I don't know what's going to happen here. I hope they can make it into something and make it great, but I'm not real optimistic at this point.
That's fine. Let's switch gears to light modified now. I feel that's the fastest growing class right now. We had Les Corporal on earlier. A lot of people are building those chassis. I feel like you kind of got it started. Are you really committed with the twins and the lights, sir? I mean, do you feel like the momentum's there too? Like we had a good run with minis for a while. I kind of feel like two-wheel drives. I really feel like light mod is the next growth class. You think I'm saying that right?
Oh, yeah, it's a nice class, and a lot of people are getting into it. It's still an expensive class to get into with twin engines and stuff like that. But, no, it's a fun class. It's a fun ride. It's something like if you got two-wheel drive team, you could take your 2 engines right out of there, put them onto a twin engine mod, and sell your chassis and get into it relatively reasonable. So I think that's one good thing about it, and there's way too many two-wheelers.
Now, I've noticed speaking of two-wheelers, you've jumped back in the seat of the two-wheel drive with Willie Make It down there, and we know you went to a couple PPL hooks as well. Is that something you kind of had planned the whole season?
No, just teamed up with a Cornburner team, Jason Sullivan and Laverne Kelchin, and just they're helping us out. And we decided to run together and put them in the same trailer for these Ohio and longer events, and it's working out great and just having fun. We go back we do work together with each other, haul some grain and stuff for them, and just real good friends with that family, and just real happy to be teamed up with them, and just looking forward to some success in the two-wheeler and just have a little fun, and that's what it is. But as you can see now, we're disking it, Jason. So we got
what would you be doing right now if you use these guys?
I would have had a dozer on this, and I would have kept pushing off this wetter stuff and try to find some dry. I mean, it's going to be tough with as much rain as they had. Number one thing they messed up on, from what I hear, I wasn't up here till 3 o'clock, is they needed to get this track open this morning with some track machines and open it up and just let Mother Nature do its thing and then just keep flipping it and try to dry it. That was the best thing, but they waited a little long thinking that maybe it was going to dry the top out and be good enough, but they were dealt a short straw, I guess, or you can't control the weather. The weather is what it is. They got a lot of rain. This pole, they work hard. Lions Club do up here. I'm really proud of them. They got a great facility, great parking. So if you've never been here, great campground, come on up, support it. It's a great event. But like I said, the biggest thing, they were dealt the bad card this week, and they just need to work through it, and hopefully they can get it done.
Well, as a fellow Iowa promoter, it's great to have you here. Obviously, one of the biggest promoters in the country, if you will, now with the richest pulling history, the $50,000 to win. We had Rob Foster on counting down the pull time. That was a lot of fun. We asked him if we could borrow some money, and he said he spent it all on fertilizer. So.
Well, that's ridiculous. I was hoping he'd borrow some to me. Darn it. Can't ask him, I guess. But no, we're just real excited. Thanks for Full Pull. They did a lot for me at our event. Couldn't do it without them. Chase and his whole team, great people, and helped me out a lot. You're a little goofy, but everyone else is great,
I know I am. It's all good.
Just really happy, though. You guys worked hard and helped us out, and I was really happy. But they're calling me to the scale. Thank you, guys. I appreciate
One last thing. So I put a question on the on Facebook this week. Is it tougher to win a Pro Bowling League Champions Tour hook in Pro Stock right now or an NTPA hook right now? Because you look at it, I think you guys, the Simon team, how many Pro Stocks do you guys have every night?
There's 3 here this weekend. There's 2 more sitting in the shop. There's 2 more being built. There's a lot as the team in whole with Brent Meyer and everyone, and with the bootlegger, and then Jake Brown's got one in our shop. There's a lot of pros. To answer that question, it's really that Masterson and that whole family. I'd say it's just as tough either place. The biggest thing at PPL is the tracks are a little different. They're down there and sometimes in Indiana a little further south. It's not as black and dirt, and you got to adjust your setup for it. But for the most part, both of them are tough. Both great organizations. Love them all. Great people. Just looking forward to pulling with everybody and having fun, and that's what this is about. We don't do this. We do this for fun. That's what it's about.
Awesome. Get back to work, RJ. Thanks for your time.
Everything but. Okay.
All right, well, we're down here trackside with Joe Eder. And, Joe, you were scheduled to join me for the first class here, the light mod class here tonight. Obviously, we've got a delay here with our track situation. What are you looking to have for dinner tonight?
Yeah. Well, they got good food behind the grandstands over there in the bleachers. But Mother Nature, it just plays such a role. You know, it's so tough to do these events with dirt tracks, and we're punished all the time by weather. You know, I rolled in the Fort Recovery. The track was dry. It was full of cracks, and I'm just like, God, it's going to be hard and dry. And it's crazy how much rain we got over the weekend, and they did a good job, good effort. But I just, in my opinion, I just really think we got to get some guys out here that can really build tracks and all that. But, you know, everybody's doing the best they can for the conditions, and we're going to have a good show yet tonight.
Yeah, RJ kind of made a comment about not sure if we're going to be able to pull tonight, and so he was kind of talking about that end of it. But like you say, we're just kind of watching the track, the equipment here, kind of trying to make something out of this track here tonight. Real soft conditions, they tell us. Basically, like you said, 5.5 inches of rain earlier this week. So
yeah. We can all be Monday morning quarterbacks here, and just keep telling this guy and that guy, and you should have did it this way. But you know, there's certain guys out in the organization. Jim Miller, I just got to tell you, awesome. He can make some of the best tracks we ever pulled on, and I think it's an important guy in our organization that needs to follow us and build these tracks.
The end of it there, yeah. Just let it.
Okay.
So, Joe, let's talk about the Unlimited class here for 2025. Rain out last weekend, lost 2 hooks. So,
yep.
Chapel Hill. I mean, when you look at it, we're into August already.
I know it.
And, those points, we talk about those prestigious points, but, every hook is so important, and then losing them like we are to the Mother Nature.
We all got our good tracks we go to, and Fort Recovery is one of our good ones, and I needed to get there to try to move up. It just, right now, Kevin or Brad Benedict. He's really good. He's calm. He's collected. He's got an excellent tractor, a good piece. He knows the tractor, and he's going to be a hard one to catch. A 5-point lead. Billy Beers is in there. And then the guys all right behind me at number 3. It's going to be a good race all the way to the end. But the important thing is we have to run. We can't afford rainouts. I can't gain or lose points if we sit in a trailer, and it just Mother Nature, plays that role. So been at it a long time, and it just when it comes Bowling Green time, it's the turning point of the year that we need to be within 3 or 4 striking points to catch them.
Yeah, what are your thoughts about, the Enderley this year being a points event, where years previous is kind of more or less an invitational kind of deal. Now this year, with the, the Enderley being a points deal, could basically crown a champion there.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's going to be good because you got all the good TV there. You got the awesome fans that go there. And, the top 5 is the guys that need to fight it out and go right to the end of the wires. So it should be a good, really exciting Enderley pull-off this year, and again, hopefully weather's good for us down there, and even if we make the top 5, we got to get there first.
Yeah, for sure. And it'd been talked about over the years that they were going to invite maybe more than 5 competitors, but that's what they decided was the 5 competitors, and I think that'll be pretty neat as far as going down to that last event of the season, trying to get into that top 5 and have a chance at that championship.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I got to point out to the fans and the organization, and I give them a lot of credit, and it was really awesome they did this, was the 2-wheel drives were scheduled for a night show at Fort Recovery and another night show on Saturday night at Fort Recovery. With rain being a threat, they gave the 2-wheelers a chance and opportunity to run in the afternoon show, and I thought that was really awesome for not only the organization but for the promoter to do this and give them guys a chance, because I think Sullivan's had close to 3,500 miles on traveling all throughout the country, and they haven't made one hook yet because of rainouts. So, everybody here is pullers, fans, and competitors and promoters. We got to look at each other and not get greedy, and that was an awesome thing. So, kudos to all that, and it was cool to see a great show of 2-wheel drive trucks. And the big joke was if they kept getting rainouts, which they would have got rained out at night there at Fort Recovery, they would have been 24 pre-committed vehicles to go to the Enderley pull-off and fight it out, because they never hooked all summer, just saying if they rained all year. But it was a good deal, and, I appreciate everybody thinking of different classes, and that was cool.
Yeah, for sure. And, like you say, we got 2 more hooks for everybody here this weekend, so hopefully everybody will be able to get their hooks in here this weekend, so that's very important. And like you say, we're already into August, so it's, time's already ticking here. The season, ends up the first couple weekends there in September, so not a whole lot of pulling left here on the circuit. But, we're still watching the track crew working here and hopefully be able to start on, 6:45, I think is what they were shooting for. And we'll see what the deal is here.
Yeah. No, that's it's part of it. It's many years of traveling and seeing, all different conditions and things and events that happen, and you just every so often we just got to take it in stride, but we're all here together, and the fans, we appreciate y'all with patience and coming in and sitting here and waiting for the show to start.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about, what's on the docket, 6 classes tonight. Over here on the left track tonight, we've got the light modified class. We've got the mini rods going to be running, the Super Stock Open, and we'll finish out with the modifieds. And then over on the right track tonight, we will have the 2-wheel drive, big class of 2-wheelers again. And then the Super Stock diesel trucks will be our final class in over on that right track here tonight. So 6 classes. I figured right around that 100 hook mark here tonight, so another great field of competitors. And, Joe, that's one thing that we've seen here the last couple of years with the NTPA competition is the amount of entries. It's just amazing, like even the unlimited class here this year. Last year kind of short on numbers, but this year everybody's come out strong.
Yeah, it's, 13 tractors supporting that class, and what makes our class so awesome is all the different motor combinations and variations, and Theobald's with 3 screw chargers, and Marcol with 2 screw chargers and 2 roots blowers, and my 4 big 18s, and against Billy Beer's 5-engine Arius thing, and to take to have such a good class like that, and everybody showing up 5-6 feet apart, what a great class. It's awesome for the crowd. Your full pull bets, who do you bet on? I'm not the good guy anymore. I mean, they're all good, so it's exciting, and I'm excited I want to get out there and run. I want to get out there and get some runs under my belt, because I want to put a show on for the people, and we run some peak oil, so we can run many times down the track all season long, and that's important that we get out there. For my sponsor, Emax, it's important that we get exposure out there to the fans, to let them know that we have a great air compressor on board, and it's great to see the people to watch this and buy the product. So, but I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah, you talk about Donnie Sullivan putting all those miles on, but Joe, you're not exactly in the hotbed of pulling anymore over there in Western New York. So I mean, you got to put on some miles just to get to the events, and Rockwell is not right around the corner.
No.
And, Fort Recovery is a good 6-7 hour haul. So
we all take a shot at putting the big miles on, but it is for sure a long summer, but it's worth it, and just get Mother Nature to settle down here. But hey, they're doing the best they can, and I'm just really hoping they get a good show on for tonight.
Absolutely. So once again, fans, we are under a delay here in Rockwell, Iowa, as they're working on this track, trying to get it ready to go here tonight. They pulled the sleds down through, and, well, to put it lightly, it seemed really, really soft out there. So they were trying, more or less emergency here, trying to dry this track out a little bit and give these competitors a good track to pull on here tonight. So we are under a delay here as they are working to try to make things a little bit better here out on the track. So that is our delay here. We are waiting here for the word from our competition director to let us know when we are going to get go back pulling here. So it'll just be a few minutes here, and maybe a little bit longer than that. But we'll gonna move down here. We got looks like we got another guest joining us here, as another one of our competitors in one of the classes we'll see here tonight, going to actually be running here tonight, as we'll bring in Colin Ross here in the triple bypass fame, joining us here on our I guess you would say unscripted show here. We're trying to get the show underway here tonight. Now, Colin, let's talk about the triple bypass running here tonight. You guys are what, third class over here on this left side?
Yep, yeah, third class. So I don't know. We'll see. I think they might have something here yet. I don't know. But just this summer's sucked for everybody. Just rain, and everyone's in the same boat. So I'm just glad to be here and hopefully have a crack at it tonight.
Now, you were one of the fortunate guys last week to actually be able to make a pass last week in Fort Recovery.
Yep.
Tell us about that big monster you laid down there.
It was a good run. It was one of those Joe Eder runs, But no, it felt good. It was perfect. Everything, just tractor matched up with the gear, the power, the track, everything was great, and made a really good pass. And it's hard to do that in that kind of class with that kind of competition. And unfortunately, Mother Nature had its different plans with 2 tractors left, and it cut loose. But that's okay. We made a great run, and the motor looked great, filter looked great, data looked great. So we're able to come out here tonight and hopefully do the same thing.
Was talking with Dad, and he said you guys had kind of found a couple things that in your favor there to help the tractor out a little bit.
Yeah,
it seems like
that.
And as far as running that Super Stock Open class, you really kicked a lot of interest back into that class.
Well, I guess I'll say this first. We're in no way advocating to combine the classes. That's for people that it's a lot higher pay grade. That's not what we're doing. We just want to see if we can do it. It's a challenge, and it's something that's been hard to do for diesel. It's never really kind of been done. We're just taking it, pool by pool and seeing what happens, and we'll see. I told Dad on the way out, we'll just take it one session at a time, and get through tonight and get through tomorrow afternoon, and we'll just see what happens. So
an event like this, it kind of works out for you where you're not up on top. Like Fort Recovery, you were actually going to run, one class, and then you were, scheduled a couple classes over on the other track.
Right. Yeah, it definitely helps. They spread us out here, and if we do decide to run both classes this weekend, or if we're able to, it's nice because the opens get out of the way tomorrow afternoon, and then it's just diesel from there on out. So from a point side of things, it's a great deal for us. But I don't know. We'll just see. We're just taking it one hook at a time. Honestly, the weather this year has been in our favor because we haven't had to put as many passes. I mean, we're in basically August, and, we've only made one, I guess, technical pass in the open class, and we're tied. We're second in points. We should be tied in points, but with last weekend's mishap. But we're very fortunate in that regard. So we're very lucky to be in a position we're in, and I think our mindset of to be able to do it, you're not going to have a very good, but better chance than this to be able to try to get the double. So
for sure,
we'll see. I don't know. We'll take it one step at a time. That could all end tonight, but it's tractor pulling. Anything can happen. So we'll just play it by ear.
But Colin, it's an interesting story. That's the we're trying to build interest in this deal, and bringing a smoker tractor out. We've seen a couple guys run in the class, last couple of years kind of dabble, but you're actually in it to run for the points, which really builds interest.
Right. Yeah, it does. And I think the biggest thing that my father and I look at is we just want to leave our mark. You know what I mean? Like, for example, you look at the guy right here to my right. Like, he's a legend. You know what I mean? I grew up watching him, and he's just.
We both grew up watching.
I mean, he's just. He's a badass, and
Me feel old,
well,
guys.
no.
Make me feel old.
But when you think of all-time greats, Joe Eder's in that category, and we just want to be. I'm not saying we want to be the best. We just want to be in the conversation to possibly be on the Mount Rushmore when someone talks about it 20 years from now. Because at the end of the day, what are we doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
We're all doing the same. It's all the same amount of work. So, when we leave the house, we go for the blue ribbon, and that's our mindset. And we're just trying to leave our mark.
My dad had always said, with racing, I raced cars years ago, and it was one of those where if you didn't have if you didn't leave the house with a chance to win, it wasn't worth leaving the house.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, that was
absolutely.
That's what Dad always said. He says, hey, you're riding around for third, fourth place.
No, it's
not even worth leaving the house.
Nope.
Let me ask you guys, as far as Rockwell goes, how over the years, had some wins. How does this shake out for you guys?
I don't know. I think I got 4 or 5 wins here over the years. It's been good to me here. It's been a driver's track for me. It's a good clay, but it's got history of getting hard, and in my case, putting big power to the ground. It's sometimes an art to get it down. So, but I've had pretty good luck here and good runs, and I love the facility. But what about you?
Yeah, I mean. Honestly, this place has been a pain for me, but until last year, I swept it last year, so the only 2 wins I got here.
Yeah.
But, that's okay. I always enjoy the tracks or places that we go that aren't good to us because it makes us work out much harder. So, it's a great venue. It's a great place. It's 900 miles from home, but at least when you come here, you couldn't ask, I don't think, on the circuit for a venue that there's something that's better than what they provide here. So they certainly put their heart and soul in it. So yeah, we're happy to be here, and yeah.
My first time here, and I'm very impressed with the facility. I mean, it is one of the top facilities here, and laid out absolutely perfect for pulling. And we talk about those venues that we need here in the sport, to grow this thing. And we've been informed from the track crew here that they are going to finish scraping off. We're going to run it here tonight. They're not going to put any lines on the track, they tell us. And we're just going to basically run them down through here. So that's what the word from Trackside is right now. So
I see a D6
the
bulldozer
will
coming.
Be the out of bounds, Joe.
Okay,
so
the mounds.
Keep that in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be all right.
Yeah.
Give you a lot of room to work with, shouldn't it?
So we got Brandon Phillips out in the skid loader. They're helping out here tonight.
Yep.
They got a big excavating company down there in Kentucky. So he's kind of helping out down there, trying to get things up to go here.
I just saw a big high track D6 dozer show up on a low boy, so we got a big dozer showing up. So yeah, but they'll make something of it. But
the biggest thing I think, like from a puller standpoint, from me and Joe looking at this, like we understand at the end of the day, shit happens. Like that's just that's just life, you know, and just the effort that's going into it, you know what I mean? That they're trying to make this happen. So, everyone can be upset. Everyone wants to be a Monday morning quarterback. We should have done it. Why didn't you do this? You should have done that. But you know what? sometimes it's hard to make those calls and making the right call. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're here, we're pulling, we're breathing air in our lungs. It ain't that bad.
That's
so.
Right. That's right.
Everybody's got to pull on it, right?
Right.
Oh,
absolutely. Unfortunately, someone's got to go first.
Yeah.
But at least they got the option.
Well, let me ask you, where are you going to be in the lineup tonight?
So we're third class. I think I'm fourth hook. So I'm
okay.
I'm happy with that. I'm tickled with that. I wouldn't want to be the first class personally. That's just me. But you know, at the end of the day, my dad said his entire life, everyone's got to pull on the same track and pull the same sled. So
exactly.
That's just it's just tractor pulling. Yeah. So it'll be what it'll be.
You know, if we want to get to your tractor, it's so cool. I mean, when you lift on the throttle at 330, 340, and the thing's a freight train, and it just gives this big white puff of smoke out the front, through the grill and all that. What is it? I got to keep fans from saying he burned another piston.
No. So it's just, there's so much, you know, we burn almost 7 gallons of water, of water injection in a pass. And there's so much, the thing's consuming so much water.
Right.
And when I let out of the throttle, all that, you know, it's barking back, you know, everything's getting back out through the front chargers, you know, through the front of the grill.
Right.
And it's a lot of that water that turns into steam because it's going back out.
Yeah.
It's hitting the turbos, it's warm, so everything's, you know, vaporizing, turning to steam.
Yeah.
And it scares my dad too all the time. Me, it's fine because I'm sitting there, I can hear, you know, better than anybody can because I'm, you know, level with the pipes. But no, it looks way worse than it does. But there's just a lot of all that stuff coming out the pipe. That's got to go somewhere, you know, when it stops. But it looks way worse than it is.
A point there where there's a hydraulic? You know, possibly this thing could hydraulic. Well,
I thought we'd have found it by now, but we haven't. But I mean, we're burning roughly 4 gallons of fuel and, you know, almost 6.5 gallons of water. So it's more of a steam engine than anything at this point.
Okay.
It's you know, the problem I have with my daily job is, you know, when I call a vendor, you know, if let's just say we want to go buy an exhaust valve or something or go to a different supplier, and, you know, the guy, you know, we're just trying to, you know, shoot the crap a little bit, tell him what we're doing, what we're about. And he's like, well, what application are you using this in? And that's where I just like, because then I got to start telling him like what we do. And he's like, well, it can make 400 pounds of boost. It drinks 7 gallons of water, drinks 4 gallons of fuel. You know, and they think you're an idiot. They think you're like, there's no way that's possible. There's no way that's impossible. You talk to these NASCAR roundy round guys, F1 guys, they're like, that's not even possible to do that. And it's like, you know, it's part of the business, part of what we do, but. You know, it's no different than, you know, having someone watch Joe's tractor and, you know, how can you make 5 engines go down to one common shaft to, you know, turn a drive line? It's the same deal. It's a work of art. It's just a different style. And
the only thing worse than that is when they ask you what the serial number is of the vehicle. You know. So
trying to find oil filters.
Right. But
you know, it's so cool that to see you guys just really step forward and just keep moving with this and working with Chaos and then building all these engines for all these other guys. And, you know, I give you a lot of credit. You know, I've watched so many leaders over the years, Lustics, the Connors, all these guys take these motors and, you know, build super stock engines. And now what you got, it's just a unbelievable, you know, amount of horsepower, and you're getting it to the ground and you're putting an awesome show on. So I just got to say, good job for doing such a great job and being so professional. You know, you guys are heroes, and it's great. The sport needs great people like you. And so I just got to tell you how I'm impressed. You know, our motors are just a common blower motor, and we fine-tune them as individuals. And, you know, I got driving styles, and I do things to make my tractor maybe a little better than somebody else or whatever. But you guys are just running on this railroad all by yourself and just making great horsepower, and you're getting it to the ground. So I just had to tell you, you know, how I felt about that. So that's a good deal.
Well, I appreciate you. It means a lot coming from you. And, you know, we try to keep beating our own drum and keep trying to move the needle. And as you well know, it's hard to do that. But we got a lot of great people, you know, helping us. You know, Weimer Fuel Injection, we wouldn't be able to do anything, any of the power that we make without them guys. You know, we call them with some of our ideas and what we want to do, and they always meet the deadline. They always answer the call. And you know, it's not just Colin Ross and Jody Ross.
Right.
There's so many people that make that happen.
Yeah.
And we're very, very lucky and very fortunate to be affiliated with them and just have them in our corner. So.
And you are working obviously with Chaos then, as far as machining and stuff like
that. They do.
Yeah.
It's a Chaos block, Chaos cylinder head. Obviously, I work at Chaos. Work with Kevin Campbell every day, and we really try to our Red Pro Stock program. That's our bread and butter. Even though it hasn't been great this summer. I think we got a Louisville curse. We went there and we won 3 out of the 5 sessions at Louisville. And man, we can't get out of a wet paper bag right now. But that's part of it. That's okay. That's part of growing. It's everyone's there. So.
But you got some really good people representing your product. The Shelton boys and all that. I mean, just first class guys. And so it all takes time to work out, but it will all come. In the end.
No, absolutely, and that's what I tell Kevin, probably at least once or twice a week, how just how fortunate we are to have the customer base that we have. With working with the Shelton family, obviously the Parrish family, Chance McGrath, Jason Miller, they come on board this summer. Victor Miller. I mean, there's a lot of great guys that we have in our corner. Vaughn Bauer with her diesel super. That's coming. It's just a work in progress. We'll get there, but we're definitely with the right people, and that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, that's what builds a big road when you got good people supporting you. And I built 93 different chassis through all the years I've been building, and the important thing of all that is the feedback you get on Friday night or Saturday night from these guys. What happened, and it just you're babysitting rich kids. I call it. I mean It's just, and you got to take good people to give you the right feedback back to make your business better and stronger for Monday morning. So
and Joe, I'm sure you feel the same way, but I don't feel there's a more capable tractor of winning than Joe's, and I feel the same about ours when it's right. But you could take me or Joe off that tractor, and you put someone that just doesn't know how to get the tractor down the track, then that all goes away instantly. And I'm not saying that I'm the greatest driver. That's not what I'm just saying you got to be a tractor puller.
Right.
You got to know how to get A to B, and that's an art in itself. And
everybody, it's an art, your own machine. And,
everybody. I mean, I'm sure I'd look like a monkey with a football bat if I was on Joe's tractor. I wouldn't know what to do, but he does a great job with that. But you said you've done 93 chassis. What was the first year you built your first chassis?
Oh boy, Dan, back to you for trivia. Jim Syringa's.
It would have to be the early 90s. I would have to say that.
Early. Ralph Banner, when they were kind of getting out of it, they pretty much just, handed me the whole pile of cardboard patterns and said, I'll help you in stereo. I'll build the gearboxes. I'll build the rear ends, but you put the chassis together. And so it just took off from there. We built a lot of stuff for local people, and then it just sprouted from there. Went up into Canada and got some overseas and, worked with Betaspor and, them kind of guys and got them. I had all the Caterpillar parts and stuff that a lot of guys still run yet today, and all the molds and stuff for making magnesium parts. So, we had a really cool deal. And but we got into the pro stocks when they came out, and to see Tim Kaine go out last weekend, old school, and lay down a good one, that was really neat to see that. So
absolutely.
But Bill Miller, we worked with Lukey in the past there, and just a lot of good guys.
Larry Roberts, you did quite a few for Larry.
Yeah, Larry Roberts. I think we built 6 for him, 3 mods, 3 or maybe 2 alcohol supers, and just different parts and stuff. So it was a really cool deal.
Yeah.
Donald Nelson, he just brought that one back out.
He's still out there, and Terry Pinkley, and then he took that. Donald Nelson bought that and is running that, but. Yeah, so we had, a lot of good people to work with through the years, and but it's important that you just get the right feedback, so you can help build your, knowledge and your experience, and now with the computers, you guys just really got a good data logger there to, to go base yourself off of.
Yep.
I see a big bulldozer down there. That's good for the fans. That's plowing that dirt off.
Somebody had called for a big dozer, and they brought it. They found one here.
They found a big dozer. But anything in tractor pulling, if you see shiny spots out there, that means you're getting down the hard pan. So I think we're getting a good track there.
I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
I think that'll be just fine.
You know, I've always gone by, hey, we all pull on it, you know, and it just, if I can back up, see my front wheels make about a half to 3/4 inch mark in the track, hang on, it's gonna be a good one, you know, and it just.
Joe, where was your first Grand National win?
So they are telling us that they're going to work this track over here, get this one ready to go for the light mods. They're going to get that ready to start pulling, and they'll continue to keep working over on that two-wheel drive track here. So when they get the light mod track ready to go, they're going to start up and get going here, but still a little bit away here from getting that done. But there's our update.
Good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
But thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with us here on Full Pull Live and getting some behind the scenes. And then hopefully we'll be able to be pulling here tonight and be able to see some action.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ought to be good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yep, thank you.
Or recovery, wasn't it? Or coma. It was the same year, but
professionals at Mort's Water Company can help. They will perform a free in-home water analysis to determine your water score and then recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Find out how easy it is to raise your water score. Connecticut and Mort's Water Company, your authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Call 1-800-MORTS or visit mortsonline.com. Equipment and more. An experienced sales team is ready to work with you to learn what fits your operation. See them today about a new tractor or a quality pre-owned combine available. Red Power, genuine Case IH dealer in Mason City. Family owned and team centered, country focused. That's the Red Power way. Online at redpowerteam.com. Angry Shine. We have the multi-purpose cleaner and polish for you. For every day, for luxury, for show, for work or play, for on the farm, whatever it is, Angry Shine, the polish of excellence. From all of us at Angry Farmer Products, thank you. You've got questions? Got answers? Pro you can trust is yours back too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Automotive knowledge is just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people of O'Reilly Auto Parts. On back roads and drag strips, farm fields, and the interstate. Rolling. The movement of hard-working men and women that are a hotshot secret to take care of their vehicles. It's the fastest growing diesel additive brand. But we don't have to take our word for it. Take theirs. Platform winning. Kind testing. Trend. Hotshot secret. Powered by science.
shared is our passion. We're proud to support those who share our love for horsepower and heritage by partnering with the NCPA. So here's the best season ever for the NCPA from Sullivan here at Steiner Tractor Parts. Parts for full tractor. And the proud sponsor of the NCPA. With over 70 years of expertise, our team is dedicated to keeping your septic system running smooth. With 3 state-certified technicians and equipped with 2 back pump trucks, a hydrovac truck, 2 drain cleaning trucks, a fleet of excavators, and septic cameras for drain work, we've got you covered from start to finish. Visit us at hortsonline.com to take care of all your drain and septic needs.
Hey, it's Dave Boyd here, Trackside Executive Director. I'm here with special guest Jeff Miller, Eder Tires.
Besides the fully tires, we make a full line of bag tires, and our sole purpose is really to take everything we learn off the track. It really applies to your farming operation. We want to build the tires that are dependable, quality product, and have the performance levels where you don't have to worry about it.
And where can they find out more about ATAC?
Well, you can of course Google us on the web. I'm going to best sources and reach out to your local tire dealer.
ATAC getting traction with the NCPA in 2024. Jeff, appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
We are making final preparations to get it rolling. Don't forget the Rockwell Lions Club, the blue and white tents on both sides, steak sandwiches, pork loins, hot dogs, pizza, chips, candy bars, malt cups, pop water, and Gatorade. Yeah, the Nuts of Columbus, they're over on the east track. They have hamburgers, brats, hot dogs, pulled pork sandwiches, pop, water, and Gatorade. The Westport football backers, some family-sized nachos, which are amazing. We sampled some of those earlier in this delay. The regular nachos, they have pop and water. The Boy Scouts of America have popcorn, pop, and water. And the Westport Elementary Help Us Sweeten Our Playground, they have pie, ice cream sundaes, and root beer floats. And just a reminder, folks, if you have not paid for a campsite, you are not allowed to park in the campground. Again, if you have not paid for a campsite, you are not allowed to park in the campground. So we do have 6 exciting classes on tap for you tonight. We're going to get started with our light modifieds over on the east track.
full program for you tonight. The intention is to run out everything that we've got scheduled. 47 hooks due up on the east side, the west track. We'll see 52 runs tonight. Thank you to all of you for sticking it out with us here this evening as we battled some challenging dirt to try to get this session in. We have not, on the MTBA Grand National Tour presented by Case IH, had a single event yet this whole year where we got everything in, not a point set anyway. We were spared the rain showers at Farley, Iowa for the big money deal, but all our point six, every single one of them has seen a rain out at some point. And we really are relishing the forecast for this weekend, knowing that we can get a full weekend in and really start honing in on these points races. But again, just a little bit of a challenge here tonight with everything that we've had this week. Yeah, make sure you check out all the vendors out on the midway as well. All of our sponsors, Steffes Auctions, Whipple's Hybrids, Hot Shot Secret, all have booths. The Full Picks merch tent, the NCDA merchandise tent, a lot of things to check out. Bad Gear is over there behind the East Grandstand as well. On behalf of the Rockwell Alliance, we want to give a shout out to our major sponsors, Mort's Plumbing and Heating and Mort's Water, our presenting sponsor. Hefty Seed Company is our TV sponsor, and Angry Farmer is our Winner Circle sponsor. Also want to thank our other local sponsors, BASF, Van Wall, Red Power Team, Ziegler Cat, J&T Truck and Trailer, Syngenta, Hess Seed, Curry's Asa Abloy, Corporate Farms, Steffes Auctioneers, Mars and Seed, Window World, Dino's Dust Control, Spray Tech, Stellar Truck and Trailer, Absolute Waste, Deering Concrete,
Mike Hansen Custom Cabinetry.
The NCPA Championship Tour brought to you by Case IH. No matter the job, there's a Case IH ready to work as hard as you do. From the rugged Farmall Compact Series to the four-wheel drive power of the Steiger Quad Track, there's a tractor to meet every need. Easy to operate, an exceptional operating environment, loaded with features to enhance your productivity. Case IH tractors deliver the power and flexibility to knock out your chores and keep going.
Yeah, additional local sponsors: Balance, Corteva, North Iowa Co-op, Rockwell Cooperative Telephone, Sukup, NSB Bank, Five Star Co-op, Nelson Septic, John Reese Excavating, Kroll Ready Mix, FMC, Sound Ag, the Iowa Corn Growers Association, First Security, Cartersville Elevator, First Citizens Bank, AgriZone Incorporated, Electronic Engineering, Stein Seed, Lasik Electric, Helena Chemical, Fullerton Excavating, Jets Construction, and Hanna Construction. We could not have this without these local sponsors. And again, our sponsors with display booth: Morse Water and Morse Plumbing and Heating, the NCPA Merchandise Trailer, Bad Deer Apparel, Hot Shot Secrets, Stellar Truck and Trailer, Hefty Seed Company, Steffes Auctioneers, and Full.
All right, we're going to get one more check down the lap with the Bowling Green National Tractor Pulling Championships purple sled on the front of that John Deere on our east side, and then we'll have our opening ceremonies here, including the national anthem that gets started on the east track. West track will come in momentarily. We're probably going to need another 15 to 20 minutes to get it final dressed up, and we can start it on the program here on the west side.
Hey, Doug.
Okay.
Later tonight, Steffes Auctioneers have donated a John Deere 8R 340 pedal tractor that we will be auctioning off. So the Steffes Auctioneers will be auctioning. They donated the tractor and they will be auctioning off a John Deere 8R 340 donated by Steffes Auctioneers. So in our light modified class, big class of 10 competitors here tonight, Wayne Sullivan in the Kentuckian sitting up top, ahead of R.J. Simon and the Simon Says by 2 points, and Todd Bice and the Snow Farmer by 4. Our top 3 in the light modified class in the Grand National Tour so far this year.
Pick up and move out.
Well, I can't go beyond the wall. I'm gonna get yelled at.
You're not gonna get yelled at by anybody.
I've already gotten yelled at before.
You're gonna be okay. That's better. Good as it's going to get, but you're going to get off the floor too. You get out there. You got a great
The last time I did this, the guy that was walking down here yelled at me.
They shouldn't have put that big pile up there.
No, I know. But it's still fucking
I think we're going to try and get off this left-hand track and get going. They got it right down to where it's at. I think we're going to create a great big Rockwell round of applause to these dirt crew out here. They've been working their tail off and doing a good job. I think they got it down to some pretty darn good dirt out there. We're going to start off on the left track down there with 12 light mods. 25 minis will come up after that, 12 super stock opens, and finish on the left track with 11 modified tractors. On the right track, it looks like it's about ready to go. We're going to have 37 modified two-wheel drives, 16 super stock diesel four-wheel drives on this right-hand track down here on your right hand, not mine. I'm looking the other direction. We don't usually start down on this end of the track for the intro, but that's just the way Mother Nature's going to let us work this year. I'll bet tomorrow night they got this all squared away and we are ready to go. We're going to run a 350-foot track. I don't know if they're going to measure it and mark it, but probably just a floating finish. He says yes, okay, floating finish. Ironman sleds, as we usually do out of Peyton, Iowa. Try to get away from the speaker, get away from the back feed. I'm sorry about that. They don't want me down in the middle, I don't blame them. Blazers are measuring tonight up in the NTV trailer. Tatum Moore is up there doing that for us once again. The flagman of the Tex Marvin is the show manager down there. He's been working his tail off all evening, getting it going. We have Dale Harold, Tom, John, Pete, Jeremy, Jay, and Christine doing the teching and flagging for us tonight. Thank you very much to all them. Up in the grandstand with Charles and Darren is Kenny Dietzel and Barb Bundy. They've been doing the secretary work up there. They'll keep track of the numbers, keep those guys honest up there. Three of the best announcers in the Midwest out here. Charles up there with Darren in the announcer stand, and Chris will be down on the track talking to some competitors and probably talking to some people in the stands also. In the NTPA trailer, Roger and Rusty Weissong and their crew will be running all the cameras and the big screen up there. Full Pull is back there also. If you've got some friends that aren't here that want to watch it, call them up, tell them fullpull.live, www.fullpull.live, and they can watch this on the screen live. So with no more ado, I think we're going to have our colors come out. If you would all please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. Caleb Rubens is going to do our national anthem, and we're going to have this show underway here just directly.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, where so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red-glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Very nice, young man. Very, very nice. Thank you very much. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you to the Legion Post 208. I promise tomorrow night we'll have a lot better entry and pre-game show, pre-show. Our presenting sponsor tonight, Mort's Water, is down here with their truck and their flag at the end of the track. They'll be back tomorrow night, tomorrow at noon, and also 6 tomorrow night and 12 o'clock noon on Saturday and 6 o'clock Saturday night. Don't forget, Saturday night is our Veterans Recognition Night. We bring the veterans out on the track with our colors that night. So if you have a veteran that's coming, or if you are a veteran that's here for Saturday night, please meet down here underneath the VIP stand and come out on the track with our colors. So with no more ado, you guys take it away up there, Charles. Darren, it's all yours. Let's pull.
Well, welcome on being here to North Iowa. Great weather here this weekend. Of course, the troublesome weather is the result of what we have out here on the track here tonight.
Well, welcome, pulling fans, to Rockwell, Iowa, in the 2025 North Iowa Nationals, as we celebrate NTPA Grand National competition here once again. So sit back for a battle of the heavyweights. Once again, we're live streaming to the world right here on Full Pull Live. I'm Dan Mayer, joined tonight by Jason Phillips. He'll be down Trackside catching all the interviews down there with all our pullers. And we'll also have some special guests here throughout the evening, as we've got just a great night of competition, as it's shaping up to be an incredible weekend of World Championship pulling action here tonight, as we are just about ready to get going here with our first class of the evening here tonight. We're going to work this left track here tonight, as that will be our lightweight modifieds. Lightweight modifieds will get us rolling here tonight, as once again, great competition has made their way here to the North Iowa here with the track, and they have kind of worked through them. Hats off to the track crew here tonight, getting everything ready to go. But with that, we'll bring out our first of our 6,200-pound modified tractors here tonight, as we have got a field of 10 of them here to put on a show. Of course, this will be, for this light modified class, this will be hook number 4 out of 10 for 2025. Now, so far here in 2025, we have seen 3 different winners in this modified class, as we'll kick it off here tonight with Todd Feiss out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Now, this is the Snow Farmer, as Todd is a 7-time TPA regional national champion and currently sits number 6 here in national points. So going to in our light modified class. In the only motorsport where weight is an advantage. So the team out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, just outside of Cincinnati, will get us started here on the left track here tonight. So great field of competitors. Yes. All right, joined by Joe Eder here tonight. Joe joining us back here. We talked to him in the pre-show, but we're ready to go pulling here tonight. Light modifieds. We got Todd.
They had a good run in there at Fort Recovery. I mean, God, it was pretty awesome, 1 and 3, and I think they got a good shot. It's going to be a good track. No sidelines, wide open. Here we go.
Yeah, running down between the dirt piles here tonight in Rockwell, Iowa, as we get ready to roll here. The GMS Performance 6,200-pound modified tractors, as we are ready for the Snow Farmer. Green lights are out, green flags are on the track. Here we go. So here in our modified class here tonight, and Todd quickly gets it shut down. But, Joe, 6,200 pounds, not a whole lot of weight to play with here.
No, not at all. I mean, it's a pretty good track back there, and, he waited on it. He was worried it was slick and all that, and finally when he came with it, it took off. So I just think it's going to be a good track where these guys be able to just pick up and go.
So Todd decides to go down the right side here tonight, and I'm sure we're going to be I find their main way down through here, so we'll get distance in here from the laser team. Laser team set up at the end of the track. We'll shoot at the starting give us our distance. We will measure up to 1,000th of a foot here in NTPA comp. Our weight transfer machine we're going to be using here tonight will be Ironman Purple Sled, and Big going to be operating that one here. The newest of the Ironman sleds we've seen out in competition. All right, so 340 and 86 will be the distance. 340 and 86. We're using the floating finish line tonight, Joe, so pull it as far as you can.
Yeah.
We're set up here at the end of the track. What do we think?
I just think, somebody like Papa Sullivan, I think he's got the tractor. Bill Voorhees, a good experienced guys back there are going to really get out. And honestly, Terry, I mean, the way she looked at Fort Recovery, I think, so it's going to be a really awesome we get them out here, 360, 370, it's going to be a good show. So it's a couple good passes in the track, get it settled in, get that fine dirt on top, and I think it's going to be a really good track.
So we talked about the light modified class. This is hook number 4 out of the 10 for 2025. And we look at the Grand National points. Wayne Sullivan leading the way with the Kentuckian at 87. We got R.J. Simon in that number 2 spot. Looks like we're going to go to Jason Schultz down trackside as he's got Todd Feiss.
All right, fans, down here with Todd Feiss. Well, we're pulling. You don't need a chalk line tonight. We just have big bumpers.
Yeah, they said if you hit the dirt pile, you're out of bounds. That was a little tricky. It didn't want to come out of the hole at all, but boy, once it hooked, it was skied it a little bit, but it went straight, and I figure I was pretty far down. I'd better take it.
Yeah, 340 was your distance. I think it was the right thing to take it, especially when you guys having another tractor in the class.
Yeah, and I don't know if they may reset it. I don't know, because there's a lot of good tractors back there still. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, you're one of the best ones in the class, so I don't think you can shake anything at that. Honestly, I think that's a hell of a good track out there right now, Todd.
I got everything on the front, and it was on the wheelie bars there for a little bit, but it's not as smooth as I would like it to be, but it was really greasy when I left the line. I thought, oh no, but then it started hooking hard.
Yeah, when you hooked and stabbed it, you picked it up. It was a good looking run, bud.
Yep. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, so Todd Feiss gets us rolling here tonight as we take a look at some of our previous winners here in Rockwell. This is the fifth time that the light mods have run here in Rockwell, and Todd was a winner back in 2023, the second hook for the class, but we've also had Les Corporal take a win. Bill Voorhees and R.J. Simon have also been winners here in the light mod class, so we haven't had a repeat winner here in the mod class, so we will see how this will all shake out here tonight. As speaking of Bill Voorhees, he'll make his way to the starting line next. Argus, Indiana, the American Thunder.
This will be a good one. It's Bill's got a lot of experience. He's been on a lot of tracks over the years where he's had conditions like this, and again, it's nothing to be afraid of. It's going to be a good track, and good experience veterans like that are going to lay down good runs, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a good show. Can't wait.
Yeah, let's talk about Bill Voorhees over the years. 6 unlimited titles in a row. A very impressive record. Also has 4 Pro Stock championships to go along with it. And good to see Bill return into the sport out of Argus, Indiana, just south of that South Bend area. Now he comes in here tonight, number 8 in points. He had the big win in Dorr, Michigan. Now that was the last event on the light modified schedule. So a big win for him and kind of getting things rolling here in 2025 as Todd Feiss laid down a run of 340.86 right now, the mark to beat in our light modified class here tonight.
Good story with Bill Voorhees. He went through the season Banner Brothers like I did, and it was a school from hell, but boy, you had to listen and you learned, and Bill was one that didn't quit, and I was one that didn't quit. So you're going to see experience pay off here, and this should be a good run for the guy.
All right, so we're looking for a wheels up run right here. Bill Voorhees. All right, Joe, so we saw a good run there for Bill Voorhees. Let's talk about that start there, that hole shot for the American Thunder here tonight. Looked like they're kind of not getting after it, kind of driving into it. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, there was a hesitation there, and, it's you just don't know whether to gas it or not or what. But, I mean, once he took off, he had a good run going. It was a hard hole shot to get going.
All right, so we'll take a look here at our replay here of the American Thunder. And Bill Voorhees up on the screen here. And right there we see that hole shot area, and just kind of a little bit tough down there getting after it. And could be conditions there where the track, just not those big tires, just not able to grab into the track here tonight.
Yeah, it's...
So we'll get the distance in here for the American Thunder and Bill Voorhees, our number 2 hook in our 6,200-pound light modified class. It comes in at 313 and 99, 313 and 99, and we'll send it down to Jason Schultz with Bill Voorhees.
Up here with Bill Voorhees. Bill, I kind of feel like we're bowling tonight. We got the bumpers up going down the lanes, but I sure am glad they gave it a swing tonight for you guys. So Todd Feiss goes 340. You went 313. I don't feel like you ever got hooked up or got any momentum. I saw your front end came up once. How did it feel in the seat?
It was okay. I just couldn't get anything out of the hole. Todd runs a little more lug than I do, different type of tire, and I was a little worried about getting hooked up. But after I got out there about 70 feet, I laid it over and then hooked up and went. But I just couldn't get a whole anything in the hole.
So do you think you left something at the line, or just there wasn't there yet, Bill, when you got going?
The tires I have just now as the class goes on and they mix it in, there'll be somebody get past 340, I think.
How many years have you came to Rockwell, Bill?
This is my second year.
How'd you do last year? Do you remember?
Won and got a second, I think. So.
That's a pretty damn good weekend, sir.
Yeah. I just, I'm not making excuses. They pulled a miracle off getting this where we could pull a pole. The people come. They did a hell of a job. You can't win them all.
It doesn't sound like you're making excuses at all. I want to explain to the people at home what's really going on. They got 10 inches of rain. They brought the sleds out here. They sank down. They peeled all the muck off the top, and you were the second hook of the night.
Yeah, and I could you can feel it when it hooks. And the mud was flying over the fenders, and then when it started to squat a little bit, then I gave it. But if I'd have John Wayne it in the hole, we'd have went nowhere.
No John Wayne. Leave that for Billy Beers.
Oh, I do it sometimes. I did it at Door, and it worked well, but it wasn't going to work here. So I'm looking forward to Saturday. We'll have a good track.
Are you running mod and light mod, or just light mod?
I just don't have enough help. 73 years old. I'm just wore out. If they hadn't done it in the same session, I'd have to run back, get on being out here in the same session. We're just going to take it easy. So.
Well, it's great to have your 73-year-old self here. Good luck, and I hope we'll see how that distance holds out.
All right, Joe, so Bill Voorhees said real slick down there on the starting line, so that's going to be something to watch here as we'll bring in Chase Smith out of Greenwich, Ohio, with the outclassed out of Ohio, one of the guys that more or less new on the circuit here in the light modified class, promotes an event out there in Greenwich, Ohio with the Ohio State Tractor Pullers, and good to see him. We saw him up in Toma earlier this season. So once again, 340 and 86, the mark to beat here. Todd Feist, Lawrenceburg, Indiana, with that Snow Farmer at 340 and 86, our leader.
Yeah, I think it's just it's slick, and it's just tough to take off. And then once you get rolling, you got to go with it. So it's going to be such a fine line. One of those drivers going to hit it. It ought to be good.
Oh, tough break right there. Right front engine. Saw quite a bit of smoke there.
Yeah, I think he got a piston or might have knocked the rod out of it. But, I'll tell you what, he had a good run going. He got out of there. So I think somebody like Terry Feist or honestly Brandon Simon or, Kentuckian, them guys that drive pretty aggressive out of the hole are going to get a good launch out of there and going to make a big number in the big end.
Now, Joe, when we talk about slick conditions off the start line, as a driver, what's one thing that you more or less, you just kind of by the seat of your pants? Is that how you drive it out, or how do you work that?
Yeah, I try to load the motor, so I'll richen the motor. I got a part throttle deal in my tractor that makes it really rich, and so I'll part throttle it. I'll set the brakes and really step on it to make it lazy and just try to get under it. So.
All right, so 214 and 45, 214.45 as we see on the replay there. And right at that point there, we saw all that smoke, and I'd say probably got a piston or two, huh, Joe?
Yeah, it looks like it. It's crossed over, so yeah, and he threw something out the bottom, so unfortunately I think he broke.
All right, so there, as we can see, quite a bit of smoke there on the right side, and so far everybody working that right side of the track here, and kind of be interesting to see if we who's going to venture on over further over to the left side as we'll send it down trackside with Jason.
All right, fans, down here with Chase Smith. We just dropped off his helmet. Chase, sorry about that. What happened to the tractor? Did you I heard Charles say maybe you burnt a piston. What do you think?
I kicked the blower belt off, so I don't know why, but I guess we'll go figure that out.
Did you have much out of the hole? We talked to Todd Feist and Bill Voorhees. They said there wasn't a lot out of the hole. And about 50 to 70 feet, they felt like it hooked up.
That's exactly what happened. I was trying to ride the brakes and get it to hook up, and I wasn't riding them hard enough. So.
Definitely tricky track conditions. Credits to the promoter for making it happen tonight. Have you been is this your first trip to Rockwell from the great state of Ohio?
702 miles all the way here.
Are you going to put a third engine on and run mod? Is that what the rumor I heard?
No, that's a lie.
That's a lie? Somebody lied to me? Okay, so when do light mods run again then, Chase?
Saturday afternoon.
Well, sorry for the bad luck on the blower belt. We're happy to have you here in Rockwell. So
cool to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Chase. Back to you, Dan. sir. Go. Thanks, bud. Yeah, just belt. That's it. 702 miles.
All right, so next up here in our lineup going to be the Chase Richardson tractor. Chase going to be doing the driving. We got David on the sheet, but Chase going to stay behind the wheel. He's driven it all so far here in 2025. They call this one the tag team, new entry.
They got that sled moved all the way to the right sideline.
So a new entry here for the Richardsons in 2025, going with the light modified. Now they purchased this tractor a couple years back and kind of had it sitting in the shop there and decided this was the year to bring it on out in competition. Chase currently sitting in the number 9 spot in points. Chase going to be a busy guy tonight. He's got a two-wheel drive. He's the defending the Grand National champion in two-wheel drive. We'll also see him behind the wheel of his Mini Modified a little bit later on. So 3 hooks tonight. You thought R.J. Simon was going to be busy. Well, Chase is going to be just as busy here tonight. So the tag team out of Litchfield, Kentucky, kind of halfway between the Louisville area and the Nashville area.
I noticed he moved the sled all the way to the right side there, and it's without any sidelines, it's going to be a hard judge to go. Be curious to see how he gets out of the hole. He's a good driver. He should be able to get out of there and should make a good run if he can hold that sideline.
All right, 340.86. Todd Price, our leader. All right, Joe, that answered that question.
Yeah, I think the sled is sitting in a little bit of mud, and it's let's see what he does here.
Yeah, looks like we are going to have to go a little bit more closer towards the center part of the track here, as unfortunately that will be his first attempt here tonight. As we see the team coming out there, we see Vaughn Bauer come out, Dave Richardson. Now, Joe, not a whole lot of cleat on these tires, as we've seen, over the years. You guys kind of working that real small cleat on there. And when you got a soft track like this, that big heavy sled sitting behind it, just nothing to grab hold of.
Yeah, it's tough. There's a point where you soften the tires to try to get a hole shot, but then you lose it on the big end here where you lose drawbar because the center of the tire caves in and buckles in like a top fuel dragster. So, you got to compromise on that situation. A lot of times, I always watch weather reports and stuff and try to get an idea what the track's going to be, and I'll pull into a show kind of with a bar angle already set. Like I might run a steeper bar angle tonight than I will for Saturday night because the track's going to be drier. And, it just a lot of trying to read ahead to try to build a track preparation in our tires, So I'm not saying that tire tonight would be the right answer, but it's something we do. We've been fairly successful with it. But when you're playing with mud, it's tough. And, twin engine mod, it's got half the wheel speed of a 4-engine mod, so it's going to sit there and just kind of, spin around and not really do much. Where a big 4-engine mod, you can actually light the tires up, bring them up to about 75 mile per hour at about 8 throttle. Maybe into, maybe 30% of throttle, you can really get that tire buzzing, and it will actually pick the drawbar a little bit and leave. So, there's definitely a difference here between a twin and like a 3 and a 4-engine tractor.
All right, so they tell us going to drop 6 positions here. So Chase will drop 6, and they said right now the sled is stuck. So that was the reason couldn't get it off the start line there. And like we heard from Bill Voorhees, no traction till about that 70-foot mark out there. So a real tough break there for Chase Richardson, our number 4 hook in our class. So we'll move ahead here to Terry Feiss, the second half of the Feiss pulling team out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. And then we've got Wayne Sullivan, our current points leader, then Les Corporal with the Corporal punishment will be our next 3 modifieds coming up here. Light modifieds here, Rockwell, Iowa. as we got session number 1 underway. We started late here tonight. Track conditions just not able to let us start at the 6 o'clock Central start time that we were supposed to hear tonight. So our GMS Performance 6,200-pound modified tractor class, almost to that halfway point. And Joe, this is the 3rd full season for this light modified class, and they got it right, Tavir. This, we've talked about the light unlimiteds for years. As we'll go down to Jason Schultz, going to talk with Chase.
All right, down here, they said you moved the sled over a little bit to the right. There was nothing there at all. Todd Ice confirmed it. The starting line, he said about feet at all. What were you thinking down there at the starting line?
Thinking, thank goodness for pulling rolls where you can drop 6. I'd hate to tell my friends back home I came all the way to Iowa and couldn't move a sled.
Understood. Kudos, though, to the promoter for even trying tonight. In a situation like this, do you want him to try, Chase?
I don't have a problem with it. We all got to pull on it. Sometimes you see who the most creative people are, and we weren't very creative there, but there's a lot of good pullers, and we'll try something different again next time.
Well, with the brand-new tractor, it's hard to make decisions like that. How many times have you been down the track on this?
3 times, but don't really know what I'm doing even if I did 3 times. So, we're going to go back around and see if we can at least move a sled.
Good luck.
All right, so Terry Feiss, the second half of the Feiss pulling team. Now, Terry comes in here, number 4 in Grand National points here tonight. Todd, of course, leading the way, her husband. And, Terry herself, she's a well-renowned runner in the modified class, also a regional championship in the 2-wheel drive class years ago. So really this year for Terry's been a really good season. We saw her win the Pullers Championship, a non-point event, the early part of the season. Now last week, Fort Recovery, she was sitting 1 and 2. Todd was leading the way in a regional modified class, and Terry was in that number 2 spot until we saw one of the Bargy boys stick his tractor in between the two of them. But yeah, this feisty farmer tractor been running real tough here as Terry's going to move that sled back towards the middle part of the track, not as close to that right side dirt mound that we saw Chase Richardson try to start off from.
I think it's important, when they, I call it building a road, they just keep running the same path over and over again, and it just gives the sled a chance to get settled in, and here we go. We'll see what she can do.
All right, so the feisty farmer out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. All right, well, it finally settled in there for Terry Feiss, making her way down the track here, just trying to get a hold of something out there.
It's hard to do to push the throttle all the way, but a lot of times it's hard for me to say this, but as a veteran driver that's been through a lot, in them situations, you're better to go full throttle and let the vehicle settle in than let it sit there part throttle. It tries to hook itself up so strong, so hard to the track that it'll actually get violent on you and hurt you. So it's a hard thing to say, but if she went full throttle, she probably could have smoothed that out and maybe got up and took the lead.
Yeah, you can see right at that point there it smoothed out for her and was able to get down towards the end of the track there. And like I say, just a tough start there for her, but we'll see what the distance comes up here for Terry. As we'll take a look once again at the start. Take a look at her in the seat, just back and forth, kind of rocking there.
About there, she went full throttle, she would have had it. It's just, again, it's hard for me. Point. Rolled it full throttle and it would have settled in. It just, it was hooking it too tight to the track is what was making it so violent.
All right, so 298 and 26. 298 and 26 will be the distance for Terry Feiss here tonight. We'll put her in that number 3 spot as we're ready to go 2-wheel drive pulling. So they've been working over on that track over on the east side, and we are going to go with the 2-wheel drive class as Russ Nichols, by the luck of the draw, will be our test puller in our big class of 2-wheelers here tonight. As we look at our lineup here, looks like 37 strong in 2-wheel drive here tonight. And Russ Nichols, now last weekend in Fort Recovery, Saturday afternoon was their first hook of the season. And Russ ended up in that number 2 spot behind his wife Kelly, who picked up her first Grand National win.
Yeah, that was really good to see that 1 and 2. they haven't hooked all year, and they finally got a hook in, and they're 1-2. So that was really cool. Russ is really good. He can read the track, and being a test puller, he might have an advantage here to get out and get a good pull out there. Almost like Feist did. He got that really early number and drug the sled way down here. So, but I think as the sun goes down, as more moisture is going to come out of the track. It's hard to say what's going to happen, but I think they got a good base.
All right, so 2019 Grand National Champion here, Russ Nichols, our test puller, 6,200-pound two-wheel drives, as we are ready to get going. I think going to be a tiptoe situation early on with the small tires over on the two-wheel drive side, as we heard Russ making his way down the track with the on-the-edge Ford.
He's got that option to drop, and I bet you he'll come back either sixth or last, and, I think they're going to build a road over there. The sled, I think, might be a little tight over there. They probably need to take a little weight out of it, let him run a little bit, but I think it's going to be pretty good for him.
All right, so we'll get the distance in here for Russ Nichols with the Tubbo Towel sponsored on the edge. So 3:01.03 will be the distance, 3:01.03. As we'll bounce it back over to the light modified side, as we've got current national points leader Wayne Sullivan out of Warsaw, Kentucky, with the Kentuckian, as he is ready to get going here tonight, coming off that big win just about a month ago in Tomah, Wisconsin.
There you go.
Now, Joe, there's a crafty veteran at work right there.
Ain't it? That's
what
exactly,
a run.
I said that right from the get-go. He needed a guy to come out and just get with it, get going. He one-wheeled twice. It got him in trouble, and he lost probably 20, 30 foot of distance there. But, hey, what a good job. He went in the lead.
Yeah, Wayne Sullivan and the Kentuckian, a great run here. Light modified class, we see the Optima battery sponsorship on the Kentuckian. And we'll take a good look at that Massey Harris 444 hood out front of the Kentuckian. As we'll get there you go, new leader, 3:52.67. What a great run. 3:52.67 will take over that number one spot, as we'll move Todd Feist back to number two at 3:40.86. And we'll take a look once again at the replay, at the hole shot right there. Locked right in.
That's experience right there. At one wheel that actually picked the right tire out of the track a little bit, and it actually, shortened him up on some distance. But God, look at that. That's 12 feet ahead of the leader, and, puts him up front. And being a points leader, that's important. He's got to capitalize on these certain situations here, and that's what experience does. And you can't ask for any better team out there than the Sullivans to be so good at what they do, and it'll be a good race to the end.
Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting here to see some of our next competitors if they watched. Of course, everybody's down there watching what everybody else does, and Joe, you can attest to that. You're pretty much watching where everybody's got their weight, and and where everybody's hooking out on the track. Now we're going to move that sled over a little bit closer towards the middle part of the track here with our next puller, as Les Corporal out of Marion, Indiana, will be up next over on the light mod side. And then over on the two-wheel drive side, we should have Alan Kane and the Mad Max out of Clayton, Ohio. So we'll see who will make it out here first. Looks like maybe the two-wheeler will make its way out on the track here.
Alan's a really good puller. He's one of those scientific guys that just every part on his truck is just perfect, so he's really good. He's one of our major sponsors, and just he's been really good. I've known him a long time, and the whole company. He's an engineer for Emax, the air compressor company, and they just do a great job.
All right, so we'll see. We'll get a word with Wayne Sullivan here. Jason Schultz is down there trackside trying to get, of course, Wayne getting all his gear off the tractor there. And we will see if we can have a word with our new leader over on the mod side, as Alan Kane will hook up over on the two-wheel drive side. And then we'll have Les Corporal making his way out on the track over on the light modified side.
Talk about veterans over there. Talk about Les Corporal, being a Banner brother nephew. That is so cool to see that. legendary name carry on, and just so cool to see the legends, how they just keep passing it down. I was part of that era there one time. So let's watch Mr. Kane go to work over here.
All right, so we got the 1936 Ford. All right, so Alan Kane, he's in that position, Joe, number 2 spot. You don't have that option to drop. It's kind of like when you draw your number, sometimes it can be a good one, but then sometimes, on a tricky track, you're kind of stuck with what you get out there. But a good run for the team.
Yep, it was definitely a good run. It's lead there or not, 298 first place. So I don't know. How far did that other truck go?
301, and I believe Russ turned that down. We're waiting official confirmation on that.
Yeah.
But 298 and 57 there will set the mark over on the two-wheel drive side.
Yep. Left Corporal's got the chain tight. He's one that drives pretty hard out of the hole. We'll see how this works for him.
So we were talking to Les earlier on our countdown show, and he said this weekend he went with the Mitas tires. He thinks the Mitas are going to be the way to go. He's kind of been flip-flopping with the tires, and let's see if he's got it here tonight. As he's following here Wayne Sullivan, our current leader in the class. Wayne went 352 and 67, holding down that number 1 spot.
It's such a fine line with those Mitas. They're so heavy, them tires, so it's tough to gamble with that much weight on a light modified. So here he goes.
Oh, Joe.
Yeah,
light modifies, putting on a show here tonight.
Yes, they
are. Les Corporal, the Corporal punishment. And pretty much what we saw with Wayne Sullivan, got right after it. The big question is, did he go better than 352.67? All right, so the distance will come in here for Les Corporal, as we can see up on the replay. Looking good there.
354.
There you go, new leader.
Wow.
Not by much.
Boy, that's close.
So 354 and 46 will take over the number 1 spot here.
Yeah, that settled right in, made a good run. So I think it's crazy, but I think whoever drives really aggressive out of the hole is going to get out there and really make a run, and I'm going to probably put my money on a Simon over there.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Les coming in here this weekend, number 5 in points, a former Grand National champion here in the light class back in 2023. So really looking to get his season headed in the right direction here, and that will do it. A good run there for Les. As we said, kind of been switching back and forth with the tires, and I think he found a good setup here this weekend.
Track's going back together, and that's what's important. It just make it fair for everybody. There's nobody that's got advantage, I don't think, out here. Snow Farmer laid a good rundown for where he was in the beginning of the class, and it just that's what's good about. Good track guys out there trying to put a good show on. Looks like they're pulling a weight out of the two-wheel drive. I think they're going to shorten that up a little bit, make them run out there a little longer.
Yep, you are correct, Joe. Going to have a reset here over on the two-wheel drive side. So Big Jack Kielmeyer will be our new test puller, the Jack truck out of Nerstrand, Minnesota. And what can you say about Jack Kielmeyer over the years? I mean, this guy has been there, done it, you name it, and done it again. 14 regional championships over the years, over 100 regional wins. It's just unbelievable. 4-wheel drives, 2-wheel drives, modifieds, big rigs. Yes, yep.
One of the iterations, Charles, of his Double Trouble mod won my home county fair last Tuesday night. Yep.
So they'll have a couple trucks in the competition. I think the team's got 3 of them sprinkled here throughout the two-wheel drive class. So he calls this one Jacked. Of course, over the years has kind of used that name on different vehicles and hasn't run on the Grand National circuit since he's run his Super Semi years ago and sold that truck and has kind of more or less just run the regional stuff here close to home, not too far. So restart on the two-wheel drives. Working that dirt, and trying to stretch it out a little bit here. We had 298 and 57, so the officials want to give the fans the best possible show. So as we take a look here at the replay, now those folks that are watching the live look-in on Facebook and YouTube, we are going to stop that after our next run here. And of course, you can watch the remainder of the show. Will be on Full Pull Live. So head on over there for the rest of the action here tonight, as well as the other 4 sessions we will have here. So looks like 330.01 will be the distance for Jack Killmeyer. 330.01, and he is going to take that run, Joe. So he is happy with that one. Yeah, so we've got R.J. Simon on the starting line here, number 2 in points. Of course, he's our defending champion in this light modified class. 4 victories on the summer last year with this tractor. And what can you say about R.J. Simon? I mean, that driving light modified, pro stock tractors, 2-wheel drive, super semi, 4-wheel. The list goes on, and he's won in every single one of them. That's the impressive part.
Yeah, they're good. Their father just brought them to every tractor pull ever since they were little babies, so they're just good. The only thing I can hope.
Well, there's rumors, Joe, that the big modified's going to run in Bowling Green. Yep. I think they said they're going to make a pass with the modified, and there we see brother Brandon.
Yep.
He'll be out later on with that modified, that hot running modified we just talked about. So R.J. Simon, and he's got one win on the summer in Toma. And not sure exactly what we got going on here on the start line here. Looks like maybe something with some safety equipment. So once again, Les Corporal, our leader, at 354.46. Watch for a wheels up run. That's one thing with R.J. Simon. This Simon says light modified. Oh, well, we didn't see that front end come up, but boy, he was hauling the mail.
Got her down there.
And RJ going to shut her down quickly there. Kind of made a different noise as we'll get the distance in here for RJ, but a good run. Looks like we're going to stretch that distance out a little bit further. So we'll get the distance here for RJ as he's off the seat. And yeah, there you go, Joe. 372.65 in a big way. Going to take over that number 1 spot. Now, situation, Joe, where the track just getting that much better and better the more we run down it?
He's an aggressive driver, and that's what that track needs down there.
For sure.
Got him in, and not too soon. We finished that afternoon session, and about 30 minutes later, it rained.
Yeah. All right. Wesley Foster out of Woodbury, Tennessee, the barbed wire second-generation puller. And, we saw Dad driving both the trucks here a couple times in Toma, and now I talking to Wesley this afternoon. He says, no, Dad's not going to run until we get back up on top where we need to be. So Dad's they're just kind of struggling a little bit here trying to get the combination right on these two trucks. Once again, they'll have two in the competition. This is older brother Wesley with the barbed wire Chevrolet. So we'll get our distance in here at 326.01, 326.01 for Wesley Foster. And then over on our modified side, everybody's still chasing R.J. Simon at 372.65 as he just laid down one heck of a run here. We got Johnny Payne coming up next. He'll be followed by Craig Sage. And then we'll have Chase Richardson coming on back. So 3 modifieds left to go. Over on the light modified side, our GMS Performance 6,200-pound modified class here tonight. Once again, watching here Full Pull Live. For those watching the free preview on Facebook as well as YouTube, we are going to turn that off as a remainder of the